Welcome to the Next Step Recovery podcast. We call this more than recovery because addiction is so much more than just getting clean from our addictions, our strongholds. It's really finding our purpose in life, and that's what we're here for each and every day. I like to say that we have three purposes here at the Next Step Recovery podcast. The first purpose is to encourage people, to encourage those who are struggling in their addiction or just in life. It doesn't have to be an addiction. It could be anything. So we want to encourage you. Number two, we want to educate you. We want to help you help other people. We want to help you help others. And then finally, we want to expand our reach. We want to expand our impact. We want to expand our partners. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to a great show. All right, Robert, welcome back.
Hello.
You know, we had a great discussion on our last podcast on the word
No,
right? That's Robert's line. No. What's your line today, Robert?
That's not fair.
That's not fair. We're going to talk about the word fair. And I'm not talking about the fair where you go to like the carnival and you ride the rides and you do all those things. I'm talking about, we said the last time on our last podcast, the misunderstood word. No. Today we're going to talk about the misunderstood word.
That's not fair.
Or fair.
Yeah.
Right. Fair. And I'm going to pull my notes up here with me just so I have them in front of me. And I stayed on the last podcast. If you probably know this by now, we record a lot of these on the same day. And I switched up all the topics at 4:00 in the morning. And
as you do.
Yes. And my mind is racing during the night. And my wife wakes up going, "Why are you on your computer in the bed at 4:00 in the morning?" And I'm like, "It's because I've got ideas."
Yeah, absolutely.
Things are happening in my mind at night like that. And so let's define the word fair. Okay. Let's define the word fair. Fair out of Merriam-Webster's dictionary. So he's the expert here.
Oh yeah.
Fair. He says fair is marked by impartiality and honesty. Okay. That's a fair definition of the word fair. Free from self-interest and prejudice. That's a problem. That's going to be a problem. So I can agree with it's marked by impartiality and honesty. But now I get into fair is something that's free from self-interest and prejudice and favoritism. The problem with this is that you are marked by self-interest. Sorry about that. You're marked by self-interest. You're marked by prejudice. We all have, and that's not meant in the connotation of prejudice is not meant in a negative way. Yeah. I am prejudiced towards my wife over other women, right?
Oh yeah,
because she's my wife. So I'm prejudiced towards my kids and my grandkids. I'm prejudiced towards the foods that I like versus I don't like. You know, so we all have healthy prejudices. Yeah. The problem is when you get into unhealthy biases and judgments on things that people can't help. Yeah. Right. So it's free from self-interest or favoritism. Well, we all show favoritism.
Oh yeah.
You know, and here's the problem with the word fair is we use the word fair as a manipulative word, right? Just like when we say,
well, that's not fair.
That's not fair. Yeah, that's your line, right? When I do that, Robert, that's not fair, right? That's not. So when I say
that's not fair,
that's not fair, a lot of times I'm being very manipulative. Yeah. Okay. Or here's another way I can manipulate the word fair. Well, I just want what's fair. Right. Well, I don't understand why XYZ. Let's use an example here. This is an example that drives the world crazy. Around fairness, right? There's a college NCAA women's college basketball player that just went to the WNBA, and she's now playing for the Indiana Fever.
Oh yeah.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Who is it?
It's Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark. I mean, she is so wildly popular. I read yesterday that when she comes to play the Atlanta Dream in Atlanta, that Atlanta plays in the smallest WNBA venue. They hold maybe 3,500 people. Yeah. I mean, there's college arenas that are much, Duke has a, North Carolina, they're seating thousands. So the WNBA, Atlanta Dream, plays in the smallest venue. And when the Fever comes to town, guess what they're having to do?
Probably get a bigger venue.
They got to, they're looking for a bigger venue because ticket sales are through
absolutely
the roof.
And she's good. I mean, she's a good player. So,
but the problem is, how much is Caitlin Clark's WNBA contract for the first year?
I saw the number
$78,000.
Yeah, which is when you think about it, that's not a lot for a.
It's not. It's $78,000, right? And then it goes to maybe 80. You know, so it gets up. I think it tops out at maybe close to 90 after 5 years, right? So a rookie WNBA player, the caliber and probably the most popular WNBA women's college basketball player coming out of the NCAA. Going to the pros is Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And her contract is $78,000.
Yeah.
Right. That's an average salary for a lot of people. For a professional in this world today,
yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
But an NBA rookie coming out of college is going to make what? Who's celebrated like her?
I mean...
Millions.
Yeah.
Millions. They're going to have $1 million signing bonus, and they're going to have and they're going to have this, and they're going to have that, and they're going to be making millions of dollars. Is that fair? What would the world say?
No, it's not fair.
That's not fair.
No.
Well, here's the problem. How many viewers does the NBA have?
The difference is like a lot. Like you have a lot more people watching.
It's millions
NBA
and millions. Yeah, and that's evident by where the Dream plays. It holds 3,500 people. Where the Hawks play, it holds 10 times that.
Oh yeah,
because men's sports is more popular than women's sports. Therefore, it draws more viewership.
Revenue and stuff.
Therefore, it draws more revenue. Therefore, I can pay the men more because they're making me more money.
Yeah.
So if we make this fair, that means I have to force you to watch games you don't want to watch.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
No, that's not fair.
So we have this problem here, right? Is that you're wanting it to be fair on one side, but by making it fair on one side, you're going to force me to do something that I don't want to do, which is unfair.
No, yeah, that's unfair.
So this whole idea of fairness,
it's just not fair all the way around.
It's not fair, right? It's not fair. So the problem with fair is that we're not impartial.
Oh yeah,
we do show favoritism. We do have prejudices.
Even the people who say they don't show favoritism show favoritism.
Right?
Like,
they just pick their issue.
Yeah,
they just pick their issue. And at the end of the day, what they want to do in order to win their issue, they've got to force you to do something. And in forcing you to do something, that's not fair.
Nah, that's not fair.
Right. So say it.
That's not fair.
That's not fair.
No.
Right. So this whole idea of well, and again, it's a political topic. I understand that. But, women are making less than men. Certainly they are.
Yeah.
That's because men are in the workforce longer than women. Women leave the workforce longer than men leave the workforce. Women typically choose careers that pay less than men. But they're making that's fair. You get to choose what you want to do.
But it's become a massive politicized issue.
It's an emotional issue.
Yeah.
So the word fair or fairness is often used to stir your emotions. It's manipulation.
Yeah.
It's used to manipulate you and we all do it.
Oh yeah.
Right. I just want what's fair. Right. So if I'm selling a house, right, this market of the last few years in the real estate market, the houses have been selling for astronomical prices.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so now people are realizing as interest rates are up and housing prices are leveling off, that they're not getting the offers they used to get. They're not getting the prices they used to get. They're not getting the traffic they used to get. And so now they're not making as much money.
Yeah.
And so somebody would say, well, a house that a year ago would have sold for $300,000 today may only sell for $280,000. And the person selling may go, well, no, I just want what's fair. Well, what you want that you think is fair is not what the market
it's different
says.
Now.
The market reality says different, and reality is not fair.
Yeah,
reality is not. It's not. And so we struggle with this thing because we're like, oh, I just want what's fair. Well, that's not fair. Or if I want salaries between men and women to be fair, well, I have to force somebody else to do something that they don't want to do to make it fair.
Yep.
And that's not fair. So we have this problem with fairness.
Yes.
And it drives everybody's emotions. So I wrote down here a couple of things. The problem with our idea of fair. Number one, life is competition.
Yeah.
You're going to compete for a job.
Absolutely.
You're going to compete for a house, right? You're going to compete for wealth. We're doing a podcast. We're going to compete for time.
Yeah.
Somebody else if you're not watching this podcast, you're watching somebody else.
You're watching somebody else. Yeah.
Right. If you're not buying my product, you're buying somebody else's. Right. So we're competing for position.
Yep.
Right. Facebook and social media have all become about competition.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Just kind of when we were before the podcast, we were talking about just how many like influencers and stuff are out there, and how much competition there is in it's so hard to get into. So if you want to be a social media influencer, it's so hard to get into that because there is so much competition.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you got into it 10, 15 years ago.
Oh yeah, you'd be be great by now. But
yeah, what's the big guy? What's the big social media influencer? What's the guy? I forget his name. He's like the most popular one and I don't even know what his name is. But yeah, I forget his name. Anyway, it's on the fly here. I forgot his name. And anyway, but he's but this guy's got like millions and millions and millions and millions of followers. Right at this time, I have 100 subscribers to this YouTube. Woo! Yeah. I hit 100 a couple weeks ago and I was like, yes, 100. We're in the triple digits.
Yes.
So it was fun, small victories.
Yeah.
Small
absolutely.
victories. Yeah. Raising money for a nonprofit I'm competing against other nonprofits. I'm competing. Not only am I competing against other nonprofits, but I'm competing for your dollars. Well, I was going to use that money to buy a new car.
Yeah.
Do I, am I going to buy a new car, or am I going to give to you? What am I going to do? Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm competing against a lot of things. We don't tell struggling people, but just give up, just quit. Life's not fair. No, we say, get in there and fight.
Yeah.
Let's get some help. Let's figure this thing out.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't do that. So number one, life is a competition. Get over it.
Yeah.
That's reality. Number two, we judge ourselves by what we think, but we judge others by what they do.
Yeah.
Right. So I judge myself by my intentions, but I judge you by what you say or do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And we all do that. Right. Well, I intended to stop at that stop sign. Yeah, but you didn't. Because you were looking at your phone. The other day, I ran a red light. I intended to stop at it, but I didn't, because at the time I was coming up on the light, my phone rang. And I looked down to see who it was. And when I did, I blew right. Did I intend? So when I get pulled over, please don't give me a ticket now.
If you're watching this.
So if I had gotten pulled over for running a red light, it's hard for me to look at the officer and say, well, I intended to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't. I'm not judging you on your intentions. I'm judging you on what you did. Right. And so we tend to judge other people based on their actions, where we judge ourselves based on what we're thinking and what we intended to do.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
We were talking about salaries a little while ago, right? And certainly our intention is that things be fair. Should LeBron James make, I don't know what LeBron James makes.
Way, a lot of money. Just a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Should he make more than a school teacher? Should a school teacher make as much as LeBron James?
I mean,
we would like to think, because
so.
the school teachers are providing a valuable service to our children, right?
Yeah.
But a public school teacher, depending on what county, what city, what state you're in, public school teacher, 50, 60, 40,
maybe.
I don't
depending
know.
On
Plus they get benefits.
Yeah.
But a public school teacher making 40, 50, 60, 70 in some places.
Yeah.
Versus LeBron James, who's just shooting a basketball through a hoop. Is that fair?
No, that's not fair.
But the marketplace drives it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can produce a whole bunch of new school teachers every single year.
You can sit here and you'd be like, the police officers, they should be getting paid way more than LeBron James is getting paid, but it's.
But I can produce police officers all year long.
Yeah,
I can produce them. I only got one LeBron.
I'm about to say there's only one LeBron.
There's only
James.
one of them. I can produce police officers all day long, right?
Yeah,
but there's only one of him, and he draws a crowd.
Oh yeah,
and he's entertaining. And he wins some championships. But
well, yeah.
My point is this: I said the value is based on what the market brings.
Yeah,
and it right. If you're a public school teacher and want to make more money, go do something else.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the reality of it, right? That's just the reality of it. So we have the best of intentions and we want to see things be fair, but life is got its own rules. And a lot of us out here think that we're going to change the rules, and we're not.
Yeah.
We're just not, that's not going to happen. Many people work hard, but hard work alone doesn't mean you're going to succeed. It's just not equal. I put down here, something we would relate to fairness would be equality.
Oh yeah.
And I tell people often equality doesn't exist in heaven. So why do we think it's going to be perfect here on earth? It's not. You think about who's sitting at the right hand of Jesus. It's going to be the disciples and the 12 tribes.
Yeah.
Why? Because they worked harder? Because they look better? No. It's because that's who Jesus says is sitting beside him.
Yeah.
Not because they were better servants has nothing to do with how hard they worked.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because it's like, in high school, I had a group of friends, and they were always talking about equality. And I went to a private school, right? And they were big on equality. And I was, I kind of have gotten this mindset that I truly don't think, and because equality doesn't exist in heaven, we strive so hard to be like, we want equality, like that's something that we desire, but it's something that I don't think is ever truly achievable.
Not in this world. Now, should you and I as individuals strive to be fair?
Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
Should we strive to treat people equally? But not everybody's the same.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to pay somebody with little experience the same I'm going to pay somebody with a lot of experience.
Yeah.
I'm not. All people have value to God. All life is valuable.
Absolutely.
But not all life brings the same thing to the table.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that makes total sense.
I bring a lot less to the table than many other people.
Yeah.
If I wanted to play in the NBA, I'd have to pay them. I'd have to pay.
Yes.
I'd have to pay them to let me play.
Let me play. Yeah.
But I could sit there and go, yeah, I play in the NBA. But I paid them, right? I paid them.
Absolutely.
Again, we're not. All of us don't have the same worth in all the same areas. And a lot of times in this world, that's what we're looking for. People are looking for us to all they have the same worth. That would be a boring world.
Oh, yeah.
Very boring.
Oh,
What you're asking is for a boring culture, a boring world. It would just be horrible, right? So life does not play by the same rules of fairness that we like to, and God doesn't play by those same rules of fairness that we like to pretend that we do. Again, our intentions, and a lot of people who are claiming to be fair, in their minds, they think they are, but in reality, they're not.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not fair at all. And that's okay. None of us are, right? So reality does not care what you and I think about fairness. It doesn't care, okay? Number 3, fairness is often in the eye of the individual. What you think is fair, I might not think is fair.
Yeah.
It's a self-interest thing, right? The problem, what the issue is does Caitlin Clark have an opportunity? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
She has an opportunity. But it doesn't guarantee that it will be equality.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. The opportunity is there. Our idea of fairness is driven, it's driven by selfishness. And here in the very definition of it, it says it's free of self-interest. I can't get in any decision I'm making it with some self-interest at heart.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Some will succeed in areas in life that you will fail. Some will succeed that have not worked as hard as you. And you will succeed at times when you have not worked as hard as them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll close with this. I have passed many tests I did not study for.
Me too. Me too.
I have gotten promotions that I did not deserve over other people. I had a boss tell me one time, he says, Todd, I'm giving you this position. You're not the most qualified for it. You're not the most deserving of it. You're not the smartest one, but I like you.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's why you're getting it. I said, okay.
All right.
If the other people had been in the room, they would have said,
well, that's not fair.
That's not fair. So I've gotten promotions from others over others who were less deserving. And I've been ripped off or I've made money or I've received money that I did not earn. I didn't steal it, but I've received money that I did not earn.
Yeah.
Right? On the flip side, I failed tests that I have studied so very hard for. And I've failed them. Right? I've been passed over for promotions by others who are less deserving than me.
Yeah.
And I've been ripped off for money that I did earn.
Yeah.
You know, could I say that's not fair?
You could.
I could. I've written 2 books and I worked hard to write those books, hard to write them and publish them. And there's been people who worked a lot less hard than me.
Yeah.
That have bestsellers.
Oh, yeah.
Is that fair?
That's not fair. That's not fair.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
All I had was the opportunity.
Absolutely.
I had the opportunity. Would I have to sit back and ask myself when things happen that I don't feel are fair, I have to step back and say, what did I learn? Right?
Yeah.
What's the value here? What is the value? What did I learn? What value did I get from this?
Yeah.
How did I get better from this? Right? The bottom line is there's going to be a whole lot of people who don't care about anything you and I are doing or anybody else out there. People out there they don't care.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah.
What are you learning? What value are you gaining from it? What value do you how are you growing? How are you getting better? That's what you have to discover. It's not about whether or not something is fair or something is equitable.
Yeah.
Or it's not about any of those things. It's about how are you getting better despite the end result, despite what you think you should have got, despite what you think somebody else shouldn't have got. It doesn't matter. Caitlin Clark is still going to play for the Fever for $78,000 a year.
Yeah.
Because she could be the one who changes the face of the WNBA.
Absolutely.
And causes greater people to watch it, more people. I'll be honest, I watch it more.
Yeah.
I've taken more interest in the WNBA in the last few weeks than I ever have because of her.
Yeah.
So anyway, controversial word, fair, right? Last podcast, no. We're probably upsetting some people, but that's okay. We're about giving different perspectives. Remember, our goal is to encourage, educate, And that's what we're doing here, these podcasts right now, is to educate and expand.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so a little bit of education, man, good. Just great little words to look at. And but it's not fair.
No, it's not fair.
Not going to be fair. Hey, if you got any questions for us, you want to touch base with us, you can reach us at www.nextstepmen.org. And if you'd like to give, you can give there as well. We would love to have you partner with us. There's a donate button on that website. And we think it's very fair that you would partner with us financially. Have a great day.